of the sun, but I see none through my tears. Your heart must be like a stone to leave me here all alone, when you could make my life worth living by simply taking what I've said on giving. My heart is sad and lonely, for you I sigh, for you, dear, only.
Yeah.
Why haven't you seen it? I'm all for you, body and soul. I spend my days in longing and wondering why it's me you're only. I tell you I mean it all for you, body and soul. I can't believe it. It's hard to conceive it that you turn away romance. Are you pretending? It looks like the ending, unless I can have one more chance to prove dear my life a wreck you're making. You know I'm yours for just the taking, and gladly surrender myself to you, body and soul.
Yeah.
John D. Martino. I can't believe it. It's hard to conceive it that you turn away romance. Are you pretending? It looks like
Wow. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Melba Joyce. Oh my God. I'm so honored to speak with you.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here too with you.
Oh man. This is really exciting because I, I've known your singing for a long time, and in LA, your name was definitely um, present, and being a jazz singer all my life and listening to um, all the singers, that we admired coming up, and you are one of them. I'm really, and you're alive. It's great.
Yeah. I'm glad we can finally get together, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I just I'm pretty blown away by your singing. I just think that you are one of the top jazz vocalists, and
Thank
um
you.
yeah, it's just amazing. And I'm sure your breadth of being known was wide, but probably not as widely known as Ella or Sarah. But you're totally right, the same as that whole tribe.
Thank you so much. That's lovely for you to say that. Thank you very much.
I never know. I never know if that is polite to say. It's like, well, you're not as, but it's.
It feels good to me.
Oh, good. Well, glad. I'm glad. I mean, your singing is it's extraordinary, and I mean, not only are you a singer, you're such an activist in your life, and I'm really excited to talk to you about all that too.
Yeah, it's been pretty active, to say the least.
Yeah.
It's been,
What have you been doing in New York in recent years?
well, doing gigs around New York, certainly. And I also went back to school and got my master's degree. So I was teaching at a college at Medgar Evers College out in Brooklyn,
Masters in
teaching.
music?
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
It's my degree was in um, music and research,
Okay.
jazz research.
So like
So
does that mean kind of history?
yes, sort of. And since I was had been here so long, I had a chance to really to experience it. But this was the degree was called research in jazz history. I'm trying to
Oh,
think of the exact title,
yeah, yeah.
but that the exact title, but basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the course just covered everybody in music, in the era, and
I have to
there's
ask.
so many.
I have to
Mhm.
ask this question. So did you get smarter?
Well, when you've experienced so much, there's always something to learn. Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of history that just made you go, "Oh, yeah. Okay. Then now that makes sense." And
Yeah.
yeah. And did any of it involve composition? I know you're a composer as well, but did that inspire you more in composing or?
Um, you know, music just comes to me. These songs that I write just come to me so naturally, and just on different occasions, and for no real reasons except I think one of them I did a lyric to Jitterbug Waltz
Oh, really?
because I never cared for the one that was with Fats Waller had with
Yeah.
his original lyric,
Yeah.
and it was a lot slower, and the musicians play it fast, too fast for you to sing it, but I did it like kind of medium tempo.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was on a gig in Colorado, and I knew I had heard the song, but I didn't realize I really knew it. And I woke up in the middle of the night. They come like I'm having a baby or something, and just everything comes. The music comes, the words come. Sometimes it comes together. It's really a gift. It really is.
Yeah.
So I started singing the song, and I said, and it was coming so quickly. So I was sleeping with my tape recorder nearby. So I started singing the lyric into the tape recorder.
Yeah.
And I got all the words down. And then I had to learn how to sing it. It took me almost a year to learn how to sing the song. So syncopated. And it had to come. I felt like Fats Waller actually came to me, his spirit came to me and gave me the lyric or brought his song to me so I would do the lyric. And it just, it's, because it's, to get to put words to that. It's just,
Yeah.
it would sound very contrived if you had to really stop and do it instead of it just coming to you like in one fell swoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I like it now and I like how it turned out.
So where can we hear that?
I'm trying to think, did I record it? I don't think I recorded it formally.
Yeah.
I may have done a lot of performances,
Yeah.
that I've done over the years, but I don't think I ever really recorded it.
Who knows? Maybe we can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to find on YouTube.
Oh, much, huh?
Yeah,
So
really interesting. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I'm sure when you look at it, and me too, but when we look at it, it's like, oh my God, going,
right that.
yeah, who recorded that and what, it popped up. Yeah, it's interesting. So, well, I'm not sure where to start because there's so much. But what I'd like to know is, I guess what I'd like to first start with is how your early years, because that obviously formed this huge spirit and ability to connect to jazz and to sing incredibly. So I'd like to know how that happened.
Okay.
So, yeah, like where you said you grew up in LA, right?
No, I grew up in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't hear that correctly. So, Dallas, Texas. Okay. And there were some people there making music probably when you were born, right? There was like a good, was it a jazz area at that time?
Yeah, we had a lot of jazz in Dallas. Cedar
Yeah.
Walton and James Clay and um, David Fathead Newman,
Uh-huh.
and they were all older than I was. But at 15, I snuck into the jazz place and started sitting in the jam session. And they
Okay.
hired me. They hired me to be the house singer.
Okay, now wait a minute. We have to back up just a little. Why at 15 were you so good?
Well, I've been singing all my life. My father was a big band singer. He was with Dizzy Gillespie. He ran away from home and went to the Apollo Theater. He lived in Oklahoma. And
Okay.
at 17, he quit school and snuck to the Apollo Amateur Hour and won first place. And Dizzy Gillespie happened to be there then. And so he hired him. Now, before that, he was singing with a big band in Oklahoma, Ernie Fields Orchestra. So, and then my grandmother sang. My grandmother was an opera major. She wanted to sing and be an opera singer. And my great grandmother was a singer. And my aunt, my grandmother's sister, was a piano player. So music was all around me, and I couldn't miss it. My mother sang and we sang together, and it was just a family of singers.
Right, I
So
see. Okay.
I was ready by the time I was 15. I was really had
Okay.
so many things, talent shows at school and those kinds of things. I
Yeah.
couldn't sing in the choir though when I was in high school because I was a cheerleader, and the choir director didn't allow you to do that kind of screaming with a voice, so she just told me, you can't be in the choir. You can't do both of these. And I was very disappointed at that. But anyway, I was doing what I wanted to do, so it was okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Anyway,
okay, now I'm caught up a little bit.
yeah.
So then at 15, you um Now I've lost track. What did you do at 15?
I was singing at 15 at this jam session.
Oh, okay.
It was on Sundays at this place called the American Woodman, and all the musicians would come in, all the jazz musicians would come in. And so the guys who produced it heard me sing, and they said, "We want you to come in and sing with the band, with the house band." So I became a regular there.
Okay.
And then there was an organization called the Dallas Jazz Society. And I was kind of connected to them too, because they'd have me to come sing sometimes at their meetings and things like that. And so they had Louis Armstrong was coming to town, and they had cheap tickets. So they said, "You want to go to this?" I said, "Sure." So we had nosebleed tickets though, but anyway, I went anyway. And the president of this group was very eccentric and very outgoing. And little to my, I knew nothing about it, but the same night that we were there, she went backstage and talked Louis Armstrong into letting me sit in at this big concert with 5,000 people. So she comes up to the back up to the balcony, and she says, Melba, I want you got to come with me right away. I said, "What is it?" She says, "You're going to sing with Louis Armstrong." I said to myself, I know this lady was a little rattled, but anyway. Across all these people, I had to walk across all the people because I was in the middle seat. And so I dragged me down the hall. We were running down the hallway to get to his dressing room. So we got there, and we went in, and he says, "So you're a singer, huh?" And I said, "Oh, yes, sir." Well, he says, "Well, I want you to sing with us tonight." And I said, "Well, okay." So he says, "Well, the guys and I will do two." So he says, "The guys and I will do 2 songs, and then I'll call you up." And I said, "Okay." So he says, "What do you want to sing?" And I said, "Misty and C." So he said, "Okay." So I did the show. I did what he said. And I went out and sang, and the audience, being hometown girl, they loved me. So he got really excited. And when he came back off stage, he said, "I want to ask you a favor." He said, people loved you. And, I really want you really can't sing. So I said, "Well, thank you." He says, "I want you to do me a favor." I said, "If I can, sure." He says, "Would you do the second show with us and do the same thing?" So I said, "Of course, I'd be happy to." I did that. And things started to happen after that. I got an engagement for like 2 weeks at this club in cross town. And then started moving. I went from there to different spots in town, different clubs in town, including the one where Jack Ruby owned a club. You remember Jack Ruby in the Kennedy assassination?
Sure.
He owned the club, so I sang at his club.
Wow.
And I sang at a few other nice clubs and a few other events, and so I got to be a Dallas singer.
Yeah.
Then I got married, and then I went on the road, and I started singing with other bands and things like that. So that's how it kind of got started.
Was that when you were married to Bobby Bradford?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
We married when I was 17. I was in college.
Oh,
I'd gone to North Texas Teachers College in Denton, Texas. And then we had twin sons and had babies right away, like that. Before I knew it, I had these 2 new people in my life. And, it just, because I was the only child. So it seemed like a lot of people with these 2 babies, But they were fun. They were a lot of fun. And he was in the service, so we left there and went to deeper into Texas to San Antonio because he was stationed. Got a new station he had to be at.
Yeah.
So I had to drop my scholarship because it wasn't close to where I could go to school, which was took me a while to get the degree. I had to wait a while before I got it. So he got his degree, and he taught school, and then we moved to California. That's when we moved to California.
I see.
Yeah.
Was Carmen was born in California?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, she was born in Texas. She was born in
I heard her saying no.
Yeah, right. She was born in Austin, Texas. I get that mixed up, but Texas is Texas, right? So
yeah.
California. But anyway, we left there after he finished his first year teaching. And that's when we went to California.
Yeah, I see.
And but she was born in Austin. And that's why she wound up going back there. After she grew up, she went to college where her father went to college in Austin.
I see.
So I had another baby between Carmen and the boys, and we were in a terrible accident, and she was killed in the accident.
Oh my.
8 months old, but anyway,
Oh.
yeah,
Woo. That must have really thrown you back a while.
It does. It did for a long, long time, longer than I thought it would,
Yeah.
But anyway, then the doctor says I couldn't have any children because I was in the accident too, and I was all broken up. My pelvis was broken and everything. And then came Carmen. Carmen says, "I'm coming."
I believe that's exactly what she said too.
She's gonna come anyway, in spite of what the doctor said. So she's just a force. That kind of a force,
Yeah.
She really is.
Yeah. Beautiful source. Let's see. You have a few people saying hello, by the way. There's Susan Tomey Berry and Sue Kabler Hine, your cousin. Sue Cobbler Hine, is that how I pronounce it? She said hi, cuz. Sue Hine or Sue Cobbler. Okay, well maybe you know her by Sue. And Tim Holloway is saying hi.
Oh, it's my heart, my love. Yeah, Tim. Work with the kids in California.
Oh, so cool.
He's a very close friend. Very close friend. Yeah, Tim. I love Tim. He's a great guy.
Well, okay. I had a print. This is kind of a first. I had to print out your what the information on you is because there's so many honors and accolades and actions that you did that were quite impressive. And as you were raising your children, were you still singing during that time?
Yes, I did. I went on the road and they would home with their dad. I'd go for a week or two. So, but anyway,
yeah,
I didn't stay too long. I go for a week here, a week there.
Yeah. Were you were those pickup bands, or were you singing with bigger names, or?
No, I got to tell you how things started happening from my bookings because it was very interesting. I was singing at a club in California. We were in Pomona, living in Pomona. We had moved there. Bobby got a job in San Bernardino, and so I just knew I just had to find a job. So I found a job. We were living in this place called Pomona. So there was a big club, like a country club almost. They had the golf course, and they had this huge place, and it's called the Royal Tahitian. It was in Chino, California. And I met a guy there, and he said to me, "Melba, I've been listening to you, and you're Rex Stewart was his name. He had been with the Duke Ellington Orchestra." And he says, "I've been listening to you, and you're supposed to be a lot further than where you are now." And I said, "Well, thank you." He says, "And I'm going to introduce you to the person that can help you to go there." So I said, "Great." So he told me about Benny Carter, and he wrote Benny Carter's phone number down, and I didn't know it, but he gave Benny my number. And then he died. Like
oh my gosh!
Yeah, he was very ill, so he had come home to pass. He wanted to die in California.
Yeah.
And so I got in touch with Benny Carter. Benny Carter shared his agent with me, and I worked with his band for a while, for a couple of years.
Wow, that must have been a beautiful melding. I can imagine. Wow.
It was really something, really, really special meeting him so early.
Yeah. Oh man.
Carmen had a chance to sing with him too, so after she grew up.
Yeah.
So we were talking the how she used to say, I'd say, "I want you to get so and so," and I'd get ready to go to work, and I'd say, "I'm going to wear this dress so and so," and she'd say, "Oh." She touched her dress. "Can I have that dress? Would you say that for me?" I'll say, "By the time you say, this thing will be dry rotted by the time you start singing." She's a little girl. She was thinking about singing. Little did I know that she had started planning her career very early. Anyway, I'm working with, and I started working. His agent was also the agent of Louis Jordan.
Oh.
Ain't nobody here but us chickens.
Sure. Yeah,
That song.
sure. Yes.
Big Tiny Little, he used to play with Lawrence Welk on the Lawrence Welk show. He used to do stride piano. I
Uh-huh.
worked with him, through him, and just a whole bunch of folks. But anyway, Lyle Hampton, well, that came in. I went out to Disneyland one time. He was singing, playing out there, and I waited till the show was to like the last night. And I says, I'm going to audition for this guy. I want to sing with his band. So I waited till the show was over, and I went over and I said, Mr. Hampton, I really enjoyed your program, and I want to sing with your band. He said, really? I said, yes, I would love to sing with your band. So he told the piano player, come on, I want you to play something for her. So I gave him my keys, says, sing something for me, just like that. So I said, okay. So I sang, I don't remember what it was, but I sang something. He says, I'm going to call you pretty soon. Okay. And I said, really? He says, yeah, I'm going to call you. So I was on the road with Big Tiny Little, and he called. So I said, I'm already on the road working. He says, you tell Tiny I got a big opportunity for you, and I want you to come and sing with me. I'll take you to Chicago with me. And I said, okay. And he says, I know Tiny. You just tell him what I said. So I told him, well, you tell him he can have you, but he's going to have to pay for the other singer. I'll have to get another singer, and you have to pay for that singer's transportation. And I said, okay. So I told him, he says, okay, I'll pay for it. So he said, I went back and he says, well, tell him that he's going to have to pay for the her first week's work. So I said, okay. And then he says, tell him I said, pay for something else. He just kept adding things, about 3 things, major things. And I said, this guy, everything he said, he said yes to. So when we got to Chicago, he says to me, Lyle Hampton says to me, I paid a lot of money for you, don't you? Round trip ticket for her to go back home. But anyway, we met. It was okay. So anyway, I worked with Lyle Hampton for a while, and then I went with who did I go? Louis Jordan.
Oh my. Wow.
I worked with Big Tiny Little next, I think it was, and then I worked with Louis Jordan. Big Tiny Little was a kind of a situation I had to deal with. So I called the agent and said, listen, you got to get me another gig. I can't work with this guy anymore. So I worked with Louis Jordan, which was a joy. It really was.
Wow.
And I worked Lake Tahoe with him, and we did LA, we did Disneyland, we did a lot of good gigs,
Yeah.
Had a gig with Disneyland with Sarah Vaughan was on the bill, and Joe Pass, people like that. It was a high-end gig,
Yeah.
And then I did the Shrine in LA, when it was very popular.
Yeah.
And I was there with Gerald Wilson, who was the man who did my father's first big band arrangements. Not first big bands, but first important arrangements.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, my dad had been out there, so I met a lot of people. I knew Billy Eckstein.
Uh-huh.
And Billy said, Melba, I want you to go to London. And I said, okay. So he says, I know this guy, Ronnie Scott, and I'm going to send him your tape. So before I moved, I was in London.
Singing at Ronnie Scott's.
Right. And what's the piano player's name? Montgomery. Geez. Here goes that old memory.
Well, I have a younger memory, but I still can't remember either. Montgomery, no, I'm not sure.
It's not Montgomery. It's let me see, Sheridan. And I brought my little notes here so I could turn to them. Well, anyway, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
So we shared the bill, and I asked the band, because they did a lot of recording at Ronnie Scott's.
Yeah.
So I asked the engineers if they would tape us, because I'd never worked with this band. He didn't let me bring my band. He let me work with a band that he had there, the house band.
Yeah.
And I asked them to record me. So afterwards, I said, I want that tape. So they gave it to me. It was the DAT. And I said, I can't play this DAT here. They said, take it home with you and play it. So I liked it so much, so I made a CD out of it.
Oh.
Live.
Live where? What is it called?
live in London
Okay.
at Ronnie Scott.
Okay. Yeah. As a
So
matter of, I want to, I want to share the music. So I'm going to go look for, maybe I can find that one. I don't know. Um,
okay.
do you think, let's see, uh, Melba, Joyce, let's see, let me see. Actually, what did I have here before? Melba Joyce singer, yes. And then let's see, maybe we can, um, I'm looking. I bet any of these are probably great. Um, and I wonder, let's just see live in London, right?
Hmm. I don't know whether it's listed in that grouping of songs.
Yeah. Nope. No, but let's, oh, no, that's Joyce Simmons. Okay. Um, I'd like to just play one anyway, if you don't mind. Um,
Sure.
yeah. So,
These two.
oh, here's you with Live at the Apollo with Ron Carter, Lou Donaldson, and more.
Yeah, well, that was kind of a mishmash. I don't know what
Okay.
anything clear out of that.
What about uh, is this you doing singing or poetry?
I'm
Melba
singing.
Joyce. It says Melba Joyce read by Edleen Hart. This is an article. We'll have to, because we want to talk about that too. How about this one in Wiesbaden?
Yeah. Okay. That's with Tommy. With Jeez, I don't get these names together.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Kurt Lightsey.
So heavy and tired, reach out from within. Upon your face, signs of race, you never can win. I know it's hard when worlds collide, and you want to run, but there's no place to hide. You need a friend to let you inside. Come to sugar. Your sunshine smile, so warm for a while, is ready to set. The more you burn, the less that you learn. The older you get, and if the world is not at your feet, you don't have to feel like a bitter defeat. Reach for a taste of something that's sweet. Come to sugar.
Nice bass player.
Your sun shines bright, so warm and light, in the rain set. The more you burn, the less that you learn. The older you get, and if the world is not at your feet, you don't have to feel like bitter defeat. Reach for a taste of something sweet. Come to sugar, come to sugar, come to sugar, come to sugar, come to sugar.
All right. And that was this is Germany, yeah.
Yes, Kirk Lighty and I did a tour over there.
Yeah.
More than
Right.
one tour, actually. But, he's a wonderful pianist, and I knew him in California
Yeah, me too.
before. Yeah, he was around LA, and
Yeah.
so it was like a real reunion for us. So I really enjoyed that gig. It was. Oh, I thought about who that was at Ronnie Scott. It was Monty Alexander.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
well, that must have been fun.
Oh yeah, we just shared the bill, but he's great. He's great, just the greatest. Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
And
He
we work
is.
with some fantastic musicians. There's so many of them great ones. And I've been so privileged to have been in their company.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Just keeps
Actually,
going.
I was just talking about Monty Alexander yesterday with there's a artist manager, Gail Boyd, out of New York, and
I know Gail very well.
oh yeah, so we were, just talking about various people she had managed, and she had managed him twice, and then they stopped. They decided that they were better friends than.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that was pretty cute.
Yeah.
She's a lovely, lovely person, isn't she?
She really is something. I tell you, what a lady.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
well, you let's see. You appeared in Black and Blue.
Yes, I understudied Black and Blue on Broadway. I understudied Ruth Brown, Linda Hopkins, and Carrie Smith, and that was quite an experience. It really was.
Yeah, that
I
was a
knew all.
fabulous
I knew
show.
all the songs. I knew all the songs. I met Carrie Smith someplace that we were hanging out, and she says, "Girl, I'm doing something so exciting." I said, "Really?" She says, "Yes, I'm going to be featured in the Broadway show Black and Blue." And she says, "They're looking for an understudy for us for the three people in the show." She said, "Would you be interested?" And I said, "Absolutely." So she told me who to get in touch with, and I set up the audition and got the gig. And I covered all three of them. So I was on 247 times on Broadway.
Oh my God.
So those times I had to go on for two of them who were out sick. And it was really something, but really with working with those women, I learned so much. I'd sing the song, a blues, and they'd say, of course, Linda Hopkins and Ruth Brown, well, all of them sang the blues. And I'd sing a song and they'd go like, oh no, how I was treating it, critiquing. No, no, don't do this and don't do that. And I was like, okay. But the experience, I did a lot of dancing in this show, and then finally they did the world tour, and I went over as a principal in the world tour, and we won 5 Grammy awards, so it was quite a
Wow.
show. We met the greatest musicians in the world, and the repertoire was outstanding too. Duke Ellington and Fats Waller and just so many wonderful people.
I wish that show was still. I wish that show was still going.
I wish they bring it back. I really
Yeah.
do. But it was such an expensive show. It was a very
Oh, really?
expensive show to put up. Just cost loads and loads of money. So when we went to the world tour, they cut out a lot of things, but not really, anything significant where you could really tell. But
Yeah, I saw it, and yeah, I saw it, and I was younger, and I was blown away. It was such a powerful musical show, and the artists were so powerful.
mhm,
Wow, just brilliant, brilliant artists. Yeah,
it was great. It was really wonderful. I was really so privileged to have been a part of that. It was
yeah,
just indescribable, really. And I had a
yeah,
great time with Linda and Carrie Smith. We had a very active show. They had a song they called "Ain't Nobody's Business If I Do."
yeah.
The blues. If I should take a notion to jump out in the ocean, ain't nobody's business.
Right.
And there was a tension between Ruth Brown and the Hopkins because Linda wanted her name to be first on the billboard. And of course, Ruth wanted her name to be first. They had won a, they had won a Tony already, you know, and I think that her name should have been first. But anyhow, they had her name, Ruth's name, about an eighth of an inch taller than they just got down to just nitpicking. But anyway, they, they actually with this song "Ain't Nobody's Business," there was like the song is a quarrel. If I should take a notion, they're
Uh-oh.
trying to do each other, and they actually had They had a fist fight. So the creator of it said, "Well, Melba, where were you?" And I said, "Well, I wasn't aware that I was also doing a security job while I'm, doing a backup, singer, But I didn't think I had that job. I was just kind of watching them and trying to stay out of the way. And it. God, it was really showbiz. You know how show business is. Very exciting, but very crazy.
That's
Very
funny.
crazy. But this show was, people would go down the steps on their way downstairs, leaving the theater, dancing all the way down the steps like we were doing whatever we did in the show. They tried to do it. I saw it more than once. It was just really exciting. A
Wow.
lot of tap. I wore my tap shoes I wore when I learned to tap dance, and I tell you, it was something. I had some exciting things to happen though. They had a little area where you go to change clothes
Yeah.
if you had to come on, like what do they call that? I forgot what they call it. Anyway, one day I was performing, and when I went off stage, I went off on the left side, and I went into that area and got stuck. I had to stay there until the next thing came on, the next act came on, and then I was coming on again after that act. So I was trying to figure. It was saying, "No, you gotta leave out there. You gotta come out." They're coming around back and whispering me, and I'm like, "Well, what am I gonna do? I can't just walk out there. So I just decided I would do a little dance, and my costume didn't anything that they had on because they had these red, blazing, gorgeous sequin costumes. So I just kind of faked it and went around and got out. It wasn't that much space to, but I had to run downstairs and get in my dressing room and change clothes and run back up. It was just really exciting, really an exciting thing. I really enjoyed it.
You must have been with them a few years, right? Is that right?
The show ran 2 years.
Oh,
Yeah, it ran 2 years. I wish it could have run longer than that, but they had a world tour set up. And so I had, like I said, I had the opportunity to become a principal at that part.
yeah.
So
So were you there from the beginning?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The study job is very interesting because you got to be there all the time.
Yeah.
Of course, the you've heard of Maxime's in France.
Yeah.
Well, they had a Maxime's in New York, and when the show first opened up, they had Ruth Brown to appear there, and
Yeah.
she couldn't appear, so I had to go on for her. She had some kind of a heart problem, so I went on for her. And the guy who ran the club, said to me, "Well, what time do you finish?" And I said, well, he says, do you have to stay there till a certain time? I said, yeah. He says, well, I would like for you to come over and do a show for us when you get out from work. So I wound up going doing the show at Maxine's.
Oh my gosh.
It was really great. I
Wow.
had a great, yeah. I was saying, I was saying myself, I know there were a lot of very rich, wealthy people then. I was saying, I know somebody in here owns a fur shop. I wanted to meet Coach so bad.
I guess
This
not,
guy,
huh?
he says, if you come over and sing, I'll give you $300 a night.
Oh my God.
He says, even if you don't sing, I'll pay you that. So I said, okay. So anyway, I saved my little money and bought me a mink coat cash. 2 or 3 people who want mixed chops there, so
Yeah.
it has this show business has its extra advantages, So,
God, that must have been so thrilling.
yeah,
Just
it was.
I mean it's hard to imagine me because I never ever experienced something like that. But I can imagine, from the movies, I guess, and watching that kind of stuff. But yeah, you must have been
Yeah.
quite thrilled with life at that moment.
Yes, I was. I really was. I turned 50 when that show was going on, and I had my
Really?
party at the theater.
Oh my.
Come to the party, yeah, and I had a great time. My mom and dad were there, and we just had a wonderful time. It was
Wow.
really an experience. Hmm. I had looked forward to doing Broadway, but I didn't know how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It just happened, just magically, you know. Carrie told me about the understudy job.
And with these conversations, one thing that is common in conversations is people just saying basically that they were just moving forward through life, doing what they loved,
Mm-hmm.
um, and being present, and then somebody said something or introduced them to somebody or, and
Mm-hmm.
that was it, and it was a very natural occurrence, and it seems like it was supposed to happen.
Right, yeah. That's like Ruth was supposed to go to this place called Symphony Space. You know about Symphony Space in New York?
No, I don't.
It's a venue uptown on 100 near 106th Street in Broadway. And every year they had something called Wall to Wall, whatever artist they featured, whose music they featured.
Yeah.
Ruth couldn't make it, so I went over and sub for. No, it was Carrie. She couldn't make it, so it was the Duke Ellington. It was called Wall to Wall Duke Ellington. So I had a chance to sing on that, and I did it 8 years in a row after that. It had me to come back for different composers, and it was a great show. I worked with a 26-piece orchestra with strings, and it just, like you said, one thing just evolves into another. You
Yeah.
meet all these people who you can connect to this and you connect to that. And before I knew it, I had a show over in Virginia where I was called Blue Monday Blues. It was like the precursor for Porgy and Bess. The
Huh.
Gershwins did it,
Yeah.
and so I started that, and I got some good work from that too. It was
Wow.
great.
Wow.
All ready for it because I was already doing those other shows. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously you had to have the goods to deliver, I mean, you don't just get that kind of thing because you're a pretty face. Well, okay, I'm going to move through your list here because there's so much I'm curious about. Let's see. So it basically the way that I guess Carmen might have written your bio here, but it was really cool because whomever said that you appeared all over the world and also you toured Vietnam and to entertain the troops, and that raised your social consciousness, which I guess that's why you became. I mean, I'm calling you an activist. I don't know if you called yourself an activist, but you did a lot of things that really made change. So you entertained the troops in Vietnam.
yes, yes, that was an adventure too. Um, this guy, his name was Johnny Grant, and I met him. I don't know, you hang out so much and meet so many people. So Johnny Grant was the honorary mayor of Hollywood,
Huh.
and he said to me, I have a show that I do 5 days a week on TV, some Cowboys TV station. And he says, I'd like you to watch it. I said, okay. So he says, and I have the people going to Vietnam to entertain on the show at the intermission. So I said, great. So anyway, I watched the show for 5 days. In 5 days, he had the entertainers on who were going to Vietnam. He didn't have one black person, not one. So I called him on Friday. I was pretty pissed off at him for not taking care of better business than that. With all those, there were too many black soldiers, black men over there in the war, and I just didn't think it was right. So I said to him, I called him on Friday. I said, well, I watched your show. Well, how'd you like it? I said, it was okay, but what do you think you're doing? What do you mean? I said, do you know that there are black soldiers in Vietnam? I said, you didn't have any black music to entertain them. What are you trying to do? What do you think you're doing? So, I mean, I really reamed him out. So he said, well, none of them are volunteering. I said, well, I think it's kind of your job to go out and find them. Don't you think so? I mean, I really raised hell with him. So he said, well, why don't you go? I said, maybe I will. So he says, well, just go on over there and sign up at the USO. So I did that. So they signed me up right away. And then they asked me, they said, Georgie Jessel, this Jewish comic, he's going over and he wants to take a black girl and a white girl. He said, they said, we think he would like you. Would you be interested in going? I said, well, yeah, I'll go. So that meant I had 2 tours booked. I thought they were going to drop the first tour, but when you sign with Uncle Sam, it's over. You got to do both of them. So I did both the tours. Went over because it was very interesting, though. I really had a great time and entertaining those guys because they wanted some black music,
Yeah.
And they they needed it, just like everybody else in a war. You're going over there to try to make things a little easier for them. So that's but when you're an American, you belong to everybody. I don't care what color you are when you're doing a show. But I got pictures with me with everybody, all the guys were there. So I had a great time doing the music they liked and, had to learn some R&B music. So I had to do that. I did some Motown. I was getting down, dancing and going on. So I got pictures from that and I'm hoping to get somebody to produce that stuff.
Yeah.
And to tell a story about me being in Vietnam because it was very interesting.
Yeah. So did that experience stimulate you into action, some of the action that happened after that in your life?
Well, I was already involved in human rights and civil rights.
You were, okay.
I had a group called Operation Breadbasket, which was the economic arm for Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which was Martin Luther King's invention. And so I'd always been involved in things where where human rights were concerned, and because that's just my consciousness,
Yeah, yeah.
When I was a young girl, I used to go to meetings with my grandmother and at the churches in Dallas, where people from the NAACP would come and speak. So I just knew that already,
Yeah.
I knew that I was supposed to have anything I wanted that everybody else had on this planet, so that was just my consciousness. And I was surprised when he wrote that whoever really did the review said it elevated my social consciousness. I was like, guess what? I was already there.
I was already elevated.
So anyway, I try to make anything that I create meaningful and have more than just the music. I mean, not that the music is not enough, but I created the Women's Jazz Festival at the Schomburg Center in New York. And it wasn't just for Black people, even though it's this Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. But anybody who was talented could be on the show there. And that's what I created for women, for us for us to be recognized. And, we're always fighting to be recognized.
Yeah.
And that's we created that. And the other thing I did was Jazz for Special People I had a real connection to the challenged. Because when I was a Girl Scout in elementary school, I used to deliver lunches too, because they separated those challenged people in another room, and we have to take the lunch to them. So I always had a social consciousness and a feeling for people who needed more.
Yeah.
So put that one together, and that was very gratifying.
Yeah.
Concert at MacArthur Park.
Was that the you? It says funded by the NEA. You produced jazz for special people.
Mhm. That was really, you know, I became connected with them when I was in elementary school, and then my mother worked with the challenged, so I was really wonderful doing that, mentally challenged and physically challenged people.
Yeah, yeah.
So they
Um,
kind of like my kids, you know. So we did a concert in Santa Monica at a park there, uh, at Memorial Park in Pasadena, and MacArthur Park. We had great turnout, you know.
cool.
So I told the kids, I said, you know, to people, I said, you know, your brothers and sisters go to concerts and, you know, music concerts, and you can't go. So I brought this to you for you to hear the music. You have your own concert. You know, so I did
That's
it.
sweet.
I did that, and I did one time, and I did it in New York. I presented in New York, but all the kids there knew all the jazz musicians. They said Dizzy Gillespie. You know, they knew who Dizzy Gillespie was right away. So it's wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I let's see. I was reading that in '98 you went as part of the Kennedy Center to Africa.
Yes, I won a jazz ambassador assignment. It was a competition where you had to compete to become a jazz ambassador, and I won. And my assignment was 6 countries in Africa. So I went to
Wow.
Namibia, Angola, Cameroon, Gabon, Nigeria, and then I decided to go to Ghana. And I went to Gabon because a war started while we were getting ready, preparing to go in the Congo. So I didn't get to go to the Congo. But that was quite an experience too. It really was.
That must have been a really beautiful
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
the guitar player and I, because it was just a duo in my,
Oh.
and so we would tell the people in Africa, we brought this music back to you because the blues was actually created in Africa. A place called Mali and other places. You can hear the blues in the music. You know, if you go online and just put Mali
Yeah,
blues, and
I'm going to write that down.
it's very interesting. You can just hear it, the blues just right inside the melody, you know,
Yeah.
inside the music. And so it was just taken out and brought to America and developed into this music. So we would tell everybody, we took this music and developed it into this beautiful music called jazz. So we had a good time doing
That's cool.
it.
Okay, well, let's see. Also, you were the first, oh, in 2004, you were the first to be honored by the National Jazz Museum in Harlem, and you appear in the series Harlem Speaks.
Yes, that was uh, uh, a group in Harlem that the museum was there, and they had me. They honored people who were working in jazz, and I was the first one that they honored. I don't know why they did that. I think my dad had something to do with it because somebody that was connected with it knew my father's work, and my father was just a tremendous singer, just a wonderful singer. I want you to go online and hear him. I'll tell you where to find him on YouTube.
Yeah, let's actually take a stroll here.
Okay.
Let's see. Where am I here? And yeah, so what shall I put in?
Put Melvin Moore, Deep Purple.
Melvin Moore sings Deep Purple right here. It's a record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the deep purple falls over sleepy garden walls, and the stars begin to flicker in the sky, name with a sigh. In the still of the night, once again I'll hold you tight. Though you're gone, your love lives on when moonlight beams. And as long as my heart will beat, lover will always meet here in my deep purple dream. In the still of the night, once again I'll hold you tight. Though you're gone, your love lives on when moonlight beams. And as long as my heart will beat, lover will always meet here in my deep purple dream.
Wow. Gorgeous singer.
Isn't it wonderful?
Really beautiful.
Mhm.
What a beautiful, beautiful voice. And you know, yeah, everything, his phrasing and
Yeah.
yeah. And I see, and that was Billy Taylor and
Yeah.
Jack Lesberg, Charlie Perry, Kai Winding, and Warren Marsh.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Only the
that was
best.
beautiful.
Wasn't it beautiful? I thought you'd like that.
Totally beautiful. Now I have a question.
Uh-huh.
His last name is Moore. Were you Melba Moore first?
Yep.
And then you thought, I should probably change my last name because,
I actually just went to my middle name,
uh,
but she just took it. She just
uh,
decided she wanted, because I don't think she was, I'm sure she wasn't born then. I've done some
oh,
research.
really?
I must admit.
It's
Degree
just an interesting little piece of information.
Jazz history and research. That's what my degree was called, jazz history and research. So I researched it, and she tells everybody that was her name. She was born, but that's not true.
That's a little bit of diva-dom.
Right.
That's really beautiful. I want to see another. I'd like to see, and then I don't want to leave without talking about your writing, and this is a pretty cool one. Do you mind if I play the doodlin'?
Oh yeah, go ahead. It's crazy, but I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Using the phone booth, making a few calls, doodling weird things, using the booth walls. Got me a big date, waiting for my cat, putting his fine on so he can look that. I enjoy procrastinating cause I'm busy while I'm waiting, doodling away. Hey again. Sitting and dining, dinner beginning, started designing, using the linens. Talking to my man, doodling my bit. Wait, I got salty, he told me to please quit. I told the waiter, don't be dizzy, can't you see? I'm very busy, doodling away. How about a bridge sort of? Do you doodle all day? Said the waiter in his white. Do you doodle all night? I told the waiter he was right. In your doodling way, that's the way I'm gonna stay. Are you betting things right? Doodling sheds a lot of light. I don't know what to do. Ain't nothing you can do. Doodling's all I can do. I feel so lost 'cause without my doodling, seems it really helps me ease my mind. I'd be tempted toast without my doodling, 'cause the doodling is one thing I find. Truly, I really, truly wanna figure out what my doodling's all about. Yeah. So you have to know where you came from, and you have to try to understand how it is and what it means. Because, and I coined this phrase when I came back from my jazz ambassador assignment in Africa. Jazz is an instrument of peace.
Oh, nice.
When you go to different countries and you call a song a jazz song, everybody knows the key, everybody knows the time, the tempo, and everything. And all you do is just jam. And that jamming does so much for everybody. It's
Oh.
like a purging and an exchange that you cannot describe. It's a wonderful thing. So jazz is an instrument of peace. I'm happy to be a jazz singer, and I try to tell that too, get it over all the students that I know, all the young people that I know. Called him a real fool. Looked at my baby, told him to feel free. Got to doodling so he could bug me. When he put his arms around me, quite to his surprise, he found me doodling away. Doodling away. Doodling away. You just doodle all day.
That's great. Sorry, I didn't share that from the beginning. I thought I was sharing that from the picture.
Yeah.
You were so adorable in that too. It's really cute.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you have a really beautiful, and your daughter does too, really beautiful way of communicating the music. Being what you're singing and communicating, and you're playing with the musicians, and you have that quality that is, of course, so wonderful. And as a teacher, I really try and get that across to students that they should have that and go after that. And it's definitely a philosophical thing, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you taught as well?
Yes, I was a professor at Medgar Evers College and at Old Westbury College out in Long Island in New York.
Oh, okay.
I was there for 14 years, and I tell you, I said, God really made my schedule because I was with Count Basie Orchestra for 8 years straight, singing with them, and I was on the road doing all other kinds of things. I went to 60 countries during my career. So during that time, I was saying that God really put my schedule together because I didn't miss hardly any time at school. I just would get somebody to go in for me and to sub for me. And I didn't miss anything. It's like I was doing everything,
Okay. I'm sorry. I have to back up a little. 8 years with Count Basie. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How? I can't. This is just in my head. I'm going, how old is she? Because you have done all of this, which seemed like years and years and years and years, that you were 8 years. Well, I'm sorry.
I was 60. I'm into 60 countries too.
Yeah. I mean, you did a lot.
Yeah.
But okay, let's just talk about Count Basie, 8 years. Oh my God. 8 years with Count Basie. Oh my God.
Singing with the Count Basie Orchestra. He had passed on by this time because
okay.
When Carmen was with him.
But still, the Count Basie Orchestra, it's not like some other orchestras, which I won't name, which try and follow the leader, which kind of fail. But no, the Count Basie Orchestra. Did you say you were pregnant with Carmen at the time?
No.
Oh,
no,
you did.
I never stopped singing in my pregnancy. But I wasn't pregnant when I was with the Basie band with Carmen. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
way before.
Yeah, I see.
So I had my 80th birthday last year. I'm 81 now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You look beautiful and you're obviously, doing fabulously. And
Well, if COVID would move out of the way, we could just move that on a little fast. I'll get back to work. That'll be a great thing.
I know. I like that. I like that. Move out of the way.
Yeah,
Just come on. Get.
move
Yeah.
on.
Boy, if we could command it like that, that would be great.
Well, it's coming
Um,
along. We're getting those serums and those formulas, vaccines, and so that's a great thing that's happening. All the research has been done, and we're gonna get through it. It's just taking time. We can
Yeah.
just keep our sanity in the process because there's so much to deal with.
I kind of feel like, and this is in my nature, but I feel like, okay, so like when I think of it in those terms, there's a chunk of time that I have right now that I really don't have to do anything. I mean, I'm doing things because I want to, and I have this, yeah, but
Do that.
I feel kind of like, oh my God, what can I do in this chunk of time that I'm, is special, or
Yeah.
that can, that needs or delights in this kind of open time.
Yeah, it's great that you're doing this. It's wonderful.
Thank you. And you moved during this time, so that's big.
Yeah, yeah. I took the train from New York. I was determined not to catch anything, and so I had a sleeper.
Oh,
I stayed, and they brought me 3 meals a day.
wow.
I stayed in the room the whole time.
Excellent.
From New York to California, and it was a lot of sand and a lot of small towns. It wasn't. I did go through Chicago. I was
Yeah.
in Chicago the second day. I met some friends over there and had lunch because we had a break.
Yeah. Now, wait a minute. You said to California, but you're not in California.
No, I'm not. I'm in Georgia.
So,
I was going to move back to California, but that didn't work out too well.
okay. So you took the train to Georgia.
No. I took a flight to Georgia, but I took the train from New York to California.
Oh, you did. Okay. First,
Mhm.
just to come back before you moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't work out like I thought it was going to work out. So Carmen and her husband said, "Why don't you come over here with us? We want you here." So I decided to come here. So I'm here now.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I actually had my mother come live with me for 9 years, and yeah, it was
Me for
it's
5
really
years.
nice. Yeah. And actually my husband had a lot to do with it. My husband was my second husband, and they got along really well. And he actually said, why don't we invite your mother to come live with us? And I was like, wait a minute. Cause my mother and I had, it's like kind of like the Jewish, very attentive mother holding on, and which is why I moved from Boston to California. But, but she was a real creative force in my life. And after my dad died, her life calmed down too, because my dad was kind of a source of, as we say, solace, which was grief. But so she lived with us for 9 years, and it was really nice. It was great, and she really loved the lifestyle, and it was good. Yeah.
My mom was with me for 5 years, and then she had to have surgery, and I put her in the nursing home because she needed 24-hour care. But I loved her when she was with me. And my son-in-law wanted me to come. He wanted me to come. We're good friends. We get along really well.
Yeah.
And he's a good guy. He really is.
So that's lovely. Good luck, and I'm sure you're going to have a great time. So let's see. So gosh, we really need to hear a little bit about the Count Basie Orchestra, because 8 years is a long time. Was the work pretty consistent during that time?
Yeah, it was pretty consistent. We did road trips. We went to Japan, went all over Europe, and It was just a busy, busy time, and I had a wonderful time with on the road in the buses with all these guys, 18 guys and myself, Very interesting.
That I can relate to that. That must have been really just totally fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Fun, and also I'm sure there were some really deep moments too.
Yeah, yeah, we had some good times. Yeah,
Yeah.
I recorded with the band. We did what is the name of the recording? Anyway, I did 2 songs on there.
Yeah.
Recorded live in Japan, and it was a very good experience. It's nothing like the Count Basie Orchestra, though. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing. It's just the thrill, just a thrill. They were just thrilling. They are just thrilling because they still call me. I was with them last September. Went to Canada with them,
Oh.
so I go occasionally. I go with them, and the thing is that we sent Carmen off to college in Texas,
Yeah.
and her boyfriend had the opening. Had the opening act band, and they told him to bring a singer, but bring a girl. So he brought her, and she sang, and that's how she met Basie. And I'll let her tell you all the rest of it. She doesn't like me to tell that part of it.
She told me on our interview.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, you've already heard it. So anyway, it winds up like one, and she calls us and says, she's in college now. And she says, going on the road with the Count Basie Orchestra. And I was like, for somebody to tell you that, you're going to say well, go ahead. How are you going to say anything else other than that? And I was saying like, well, that's great. It was really great. We were really proud of her going on the road with this band, at her age. She was so young, but we knew she was ready because she's been singing forever, just singing like a little bird all the time in high school and singing in the house and hearing all the music, getting all the rhythms and hearing all the music because we played everything in our family. We played good music in our home. So she was exposed to everything, all good music. But she did it. Still, yeah.
Well, she's beautiful.
Yeah,
I was telling her one song that a lot of singers have sung recently is the Jimmy Rolls tune, The Peacocks, or it's called something else with the lyrics, but and even I recorded it too. But when I heard her version, I was really appreciative of her phrasing and her really making it her own. I think I definitely hear that in both of you, really making the song your own. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And your dad too, for that matter. Yeah. So just a little bit more about Basie's band.
Okay.
What would you say are I'm sure there's not just one thing. What would you say about a few things that really I don't know if they changed you. They could have changed you, but you were already an adult and had a lot of history. But what were you moved by? What particular things that really knocked you out? I know you just said there's nothing like the Basie band.
Well, the way they work together and cooperate with each other and believe in the music so deeply and they're so dedicated to making it right. And they play it right every night. And it's the same devotion, the same kind of energy they put into it.
Yeah.
And the guys really appreciate who Count Basie is. And they're proud to be playing his music. So I was very impressed with their devotion to him and the connectiveness they had, to the music and the dedication to the music, everything. And you have to be dedicated to do this music, I think you do because, show business is show business, it's here today and gone tomorrow, but they have been a part of the reason why the band has been able to thrive as it has because of the dedication and the work that they put into the music and getting along with each other and just doing it like it's supposed to be done, I'm impressed with them with that. I love each one of them. All of them were just great to me, and great to Carmen and so supportive of us, you know, in the music. And it's just perfect. You know, it's just so close to perfect.
Is the band now like mixed of guys who have been in it for a long time and younger guys?
Yes, absolutely. They have
Yeah.
some guys that started out. One of the guys, I can't remember who it was, met the people and somebody in the band he met, and he when he was 16, and now he's with the band and been with the band for years, you know, and
Huh.
that's the kind of dedicated thing that they have for the band.
So as far as the singer goes, the singer probably doesn't sing well, obviously doesn't sing all the songs. Uh, is it a what kind of percentage of?
3 songs a night or 4 songs a night.
Oh, wow. Not much to get your whoosies, your thrills, you know. Wow.
Oh yeah, but you get them every night, I think, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So they put into it, and the music is just causes you to do everything you can to make it your own and to have everybody enjoy it. So,
Yeah. Oh gosh, I wish I could have heard you with the Basie band. That
yeah,
would be thrilling, I'm sure.
yeah,
Another person who I've thought, wow, I would have loved to hear her too was Mary Stallings.
yeah. Yes.
She was with them 4 years, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's another singer like yourself. The Tribe, right
Yeah.
out of that beautiful, it's like a certain group. Let's see. Gosh, words are not very good today. Sorry. It's like a certain not a period of time, it's a certain space of creation, you know, that the what I'm saying calling the tribe of singers are from. And yeah, you guys to me are in the same tribe.
I know Mary Stallings' work. Yeah, she's beautiful.
She's really wow. She's like you, really just beautiful and yourself. Your phrasing is yourself, and your voices are both really beautiful, intonation and um, yeah, just really wonderful.
Yeah, I like her a lot too.
Yeah. So let's see what else. Well, okay, let's before you know we go on and I forget or something. You're an author.
Yes, I have. I took my thesis called Jazz Widows, which was inspired by Mona Hinton, who was Milt Hinton's wife, who went
Huh.
on the road with him. You know, she went on the road with him when he was with what's the Heidi Ho guy's name?
Oh, Cab Calloway.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and she followed her husband around and was very dedicated. And I saw her documentary once when she was on the road with the band, and she would go to town and they would to towns where they were going to work, and there were no black hotels, so she'd go to the black neighborhood and book places for the band to stay after they finished the set at night because it was late and they didn't want to get back on the road until the next morning. And she would also uh, down south when and everything was racist, you know, it was very segregated.
Yeah.
And so she would go, they would park, you know, maybe a block from a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then she would go into the restaurant with her list of things what the band needed and wanted to eat and get the food and bring it back. And I remember telling her, you know, how did you keep your dresses so starched and she looked so fresh and everything? But she was just a person who was supportive of the music and of her husband and the band. And I was so impressed with what she did and her dedication until I decided to call the book Jazz Widows, the thesis, you know, when I got my master's degree
Yeah.
at Rutgers University. And so she inspired that. And I did these interviews with about 8 ladies. Cecilia Foster, Frank Foster's widow,
Yeah.
husband, and Bertha Hope, Elma Hope, her husband, and there were like 8 of them, like I said, and I can't think of them all at this time. But Dorothy Ann Kirk, who's with WBGO, her husband, Rasan Roland Kirk, who I appeared with at the Shrine on that show I told you I did over there with
Yeah.
Gerald
Yeah.
Wilson.
Boy,
And so,
you know who I'd love to get you together to talk with is Gerald Wiggins' widow, Lynn.
oh yeah,
She's
yeah, that would be good.
a sweetheart. She's
Yeah,
actually I need to call her and check in with her because she's I'm not sure how old she is, but she's up there in age, you know. And
yeah.
she's
Call her. I mean, because this kind of thing could be volume 10. Could be 10 volumes with these musicians passing
yeah.
on as they are.
Yeah,
You know,
you and she would get along really well. She's such a sweetheart and she was totally in the trenches, you know, and yeah.
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 You got to be that way when you're married to a musician. You do.
You certainly
But
do.
anyway,
Who was I was talking to somebody. Let me just look for a minute. Who was I talking with that was so, gosh, I feel like it was, I can't remember. We were talking and just talking about how their mate, I think I was talking to a man, and their mate was just so appreciative of who they were and supportive, you know. And that's a challenge, you know, in this business, I think, don't you?
oh
You
yeah,
know, I mean, you're not making a lot of money, you know, and but you're totally committed and driven, and you know, you might be on the road a lot, and yeah, it's
right.
quite the thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, everybody has
I
to.
think I was talking. I'm sorry. I think I was talking to Pierre Chambers, who's Paul Chambers' son,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, and their life was interesting because there were four kids. They, I think they grew up in was it Chicago? I can't remember, but anyway, Paul left it to go to New York, and you know he was super involved at that time with the real scene that was happening. They never divorced. He never wanted to divorce his wife, and she didn't. And she was very musical. She really brought the importance of what their father was doing
Mhm.
into their lives, and she really supported the children in music, and she was musical. And I just thought, wow, they must have really appreciated each other, you
Mhm.
know, even though they weren't living together, you know, they must have really just respected, you know, what each other was doing, you know.
Yeah. 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 Those family needs to be involved in the. I think it becomes a family business. That's how I described it. When
Yeah, yeah.
and because everybody has to cooperate with everybody for things to happen. I used to tell my kids when I was getting ready to go on a gig, you take this out to the trunk of put this in the trunk of the car, and you make sure that the back doors are locked, and everyone was involved in what was happening. 'Cause it was work. It was work. You know,
Yeah.
I'd take my kids with me. I was lived in Pomona, and we had moved to Altadena, which is a distance away, and I had a gig out there. So the kids went with me one time, and they spent the night with a friend who used to live on the same street we lived on, and so it was like going to get McDonald's and eating it on the way and all that kind of stuff. So we had to cooperate with each other.
What your book, what is it still available to buy?
Uh, well, it hasn't really been released yet, but I think after the first of the year it'll be out.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that'll be exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Yeah, it's really exciting. The
It,
interviews were really great because and the women were so interesting too because they had other interests other than the music. Some of them were
yeah.
with other things that were very important.
Yeah. It must be a little hard to be married to a famous musician, you know, and you kind of, I mean, it's a little daunting, you know. I mean, you know what I mean? You have to, I don't know, be known for something.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and your compositions, about how many songs have you written?
about 30.
Wow, that's quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have a peace anthem that I wrote, and I wrote
Oh,
uh, I wrote one song that won an award in New York, and I was trying to think of the company that gave me the award. It's called "You Are My Song." It's a love song. And then Carmen has recorded two of my songs. You know.
Okay, well, let's go hear one.
Okay.
Okay, now you can tell me.
Was I in Love Alone? Is one of the songs that she recorded.
I think we may have, and I'm still going to hear it, but I think we may have played that one.
What was the other one?
What a great title that is.
How about that? Is that a story or not?
Yeah, really. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's great.
I had a love affair that didn't work. And I tell you, it really took me through some changes with that guy.
Yeah, I mean, just that title is wonderful. You know, as a singer, you really, I was talking to somebody yesterday, maybe it was, I'm not sure if it was Gail or Leroy Downs. I had two people on yesterday. But we were talking about, you know, when that song, I think I was talking with Gail about it. Both as a composer, because I've composed about 60 songs. And so both as a composer and a singer, when you hear that line that is such a perfect communication, you know, and just like ding, that gets it. That is what your title is. Was I in Love Alone? Oh my God. I'm already like,
It makes you think about it. Really does trigger your memory and how you feel about different affairs that were like, was he here or was he there? You know.
Well, most people who have like not the greatest divorce, you know, will sometimes say that. I was married to a man for 17 years, and I was after, you know, when I was going through the divorce, I was like, are you sure that you're the guy I was married to? Because this is so weird, you know.
The guy finally told me that he loved me, and that, you know, finally he was dying, but he did tell me that, you know. But it was really an interesting affair.
Yeah, I knew that I stimulated some negative things for my husband by the end, you know. I mean, in the beginning it was really strong, and we did have a very strong relationship for a long time, and then it started getting weird because it was interesting. He contributed to my success in life, but as I got more successful, and I just mean like teaching and singing, and you know, that pushed his buttons because he wasn't doing it. And so there was the problem, you know, and that you couldn't do anything about that because, you know,
doing what you're doing and be devoted to what you're doing and not buy into anything else.
Yeah. My friend is on here, Roland, and he said the story of my love life. He had one of those too. He had like, wait, what? What? What just happened? I don't know if you know Dina DeRose, a great singer and piano player.
I do know of her, yes.
Yeah, she said she's loved your singing for years, and she's very happy to hear you and you know, hear about you right now. Okay, so this is Carmen Bradford. This is Melba's beautiful daughter, wonderful singer, and we're playing this because this is a song that Melba wrote. Was I in Love Alone?
I sing all the songs of how he walked away and how she cried until life seemed so needless. I've read all the books about a lasting life that ended and how someone pretended to be caring, only leaving What were you doing while I was in love? I sing all the songs of how he walked away and how she cried until life seemed so needless. I've read all the books about lasting love that ended and how someone pretended to be caring, only leaving, just deceiving. And I wonder, was I in love alone? Was it just a dream? Could it be you never cared? What were you doing while I was in love? Questions in my mind, they haunt me all the time. I ask myself again, how could it be? What were you doing while I was loving, while I was giving myself, my soul to you? What were you doing? Was I in love alone? Was I in love?
What a great song.
Thank you.
Now, Carmen told
Why
me
waste
that
100
Whoops.
nights testing a mattress? Head into Ashley Home.
I don't want to hear that. Carmen said something. She forgot to sing the second verse. Apparently,
Right. So she repeated it. I was like, I'll choke her.
I just she said sorry. Um, I just messaged her and I asked if you guys would send that song to me, that chart.
Sure.
Oh, I'd love to just sit here and play through it and sing it. It's just it's one of those songs that's wonderful musically and lyrically, just great.
Thank you so much.
And you wrote the music as well, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Do you write the chords as well, or do you have help on that?
Yeah, I hear the chorus myself. I do them myself.
Yeah. Beautiful song. Really, it's a classic song.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The other one she sang was Be the One. It's a wedding song, really.
Oh.
Anyway, but anyhow, we can hear that another time if you want to, because
I'd like to hear that too. Dina DeRose wants it too. Okay, we're spreading it out, man. Yeah, because she works a lot more than I do. Let's see. Yeah, I would. Let me see if I can find that. So it's called "Be the One."
Mm-hmm.
Be the One. Carmen
It's on
Bradford.
YouTube, she said. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And "Be the One."
I sang it at her wedding.
Oh, really?
Mhm. And
Let's
the,
see
and
if-
the Times called it a wedding song when they did.
Oh. uh, I don't know that it's on YouTube.
She thought it was on there.
Let me bring up YouTube by itself
Mhm.
and just go directly to YouTube and then look for it that way. Be the One. Carmen Bradford. Be the One. Oh, there it is. I see. It's a recording. Okay, so let me again share the screen because it's just nice to share the screen.
Every year, CrowdStrike produces.
Okay, skip the ads. And then turn it up.
Be the one to hold me all my life. Be the one to share my joy and happiness. Be the one to always say good night. And when the morning turns to dawn, be the one. We will sing the song of life so sweet. We have all the love we need, the essence so true. Everything we want is here and now, and we're together. Be the one. You're the one. Even when you're gone, you'll be beside me. For the love we have will keep us close, yet set us free. You're the one I've known for all my life. I've chosen you and you have chosen me. We have it all, I promise. Smiles we share will wipe away the tears. I'll protect you from yourself if ever you're blue. You're the one who's made my dream complete. Forever, darling, you're the one. You're the one. Forever, darling, you're the one. You're the one.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is really beautiful.
That song reminds me of what Benny Carter used to say to me. Melba, you're in love with love. Looks like it, huh?
Which is a nice thing,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, it strikes me that you have to be a loving person and very tolerant of bullshit because to do all the things that you've done and, and to be here smiling, and alive and well and everything. So I think you have to have, I think your nature has to be pretty up there, right?
Yeah, well, I try to stay on the good side, try to stay positive, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too. I have a very high tolerance level, and you know the things that actually I have no control over, uh, like getting pissed off about.
Right.
Interestingly enough, when somebody disregards or disrespects music, and I'm talking about performers, I literally, I all of a sudden, it's like I have Tourette syndrome or something. All of a sudden, I'll just like lose it, and then I'll like, grab myself. And anybody with me who knows me is like, what just happened? I'm like, oh, and then I try and talk myself down, and then I'm listening again, and then I lose it again. So I've had a few incidents like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I should leave the room. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also wanted to bring up something else that was on your resume there, and that was the in 2009 when your big band was at Lincoln Center's Midsummer Night Swing with 9 women and 9 men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it said it was setting a precedence, recognized by Jazz WBGO, or Rhonda Hamilton, who compared the singer's actions to Benny Goodman, who hired black musicians to play with his big band.
Mm-hmm.
Was that when you were celebrating Goodman's 100th birthday, or that was a separate thing?
Well, I know it was during that time, but I just tried to make a statement because, a lot of times guys used to say, women can't play jazz, with Melba listening and people like that around. I don't know how they could say that. But some guys, just want to be the ones to play, want to be said that they're the ones that played the music better than we did. So anyway, I said, well, let me just kind of straighten this thing out. So I got the baddest girls that I could find in New York. Everybody in that band was a leader. Everybody, each one of them was a leader that had their own band.
Yeah.
And I just got the most outrageous musicians I could find in New York, and I put them all together.
Yeah.
To prove something, and to stop all this foolishness.
You seem to be like you're observing and you're going, yeah, this needs to be adjusted.
Yes.
And then you go out and adjust it.
Right. Do something about it. Don't just talk about it, right? So looks like I've been doing that a lot,
It does look like it.
So everybody got along great, and it sounded wonderful. And I just am so sorry. The guy told me that he was going to tape it, and he didn't take it. I couldn't him, God.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah.
Oh, it was a wonderful night, and I had more fun than anybody. It was the greatest thing in the world because the music was so great.
Yeah.
And everybody was so wonderful. It's just so wonderful. This music and this performing, I'm so grateful to be a part of this music. It's such a wonderful thing. It really is. I'm just thrilled to be doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm feeling weird these days, that's what brings me back to.
Yeah, I wrote a song, I Feel Like Singing, and it describes how we feel. And I don't think that's any place that you can find it. But
can you tell us some of the lyrics?
Yeah, when the world has got me down and the friend just can't be found, there's one thing I can do that'll always take me through because I got a song no one can take. It's in my heart. The music makes me feel so fine. Times are lonely, feeling blue, no one to tell my troubles to. You're not here, I'm with myself. Can't depend on no one else. Don't you know a song comes to mind? And right away I start to shine. I'm feeling fine. I feel like singing. Because a song is like a prayer. I feel like singing. It's in my heart. It's always there. I feel like singing, singing, singing. What's the last part of it? Start the day with a song. Let it last on and on. This love will light the darkest space. Put a smile on your face. La, 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 la. And everyone sing along. Just sing along. I feel like singing because the song is like a prayer. I feel like singing. It makes the fears all disappear. I feel like singing, singing, singing. I feel like singing.
Yay. Oh, thank you. That's really nice. I've been trying to be consistent at something which you would probably like, which is I just call it prayer. What do I call it? Prayer improv. And I just I've been inspired by certain people I've talked to about this, but Jay Clayton being one, and Larry Livingston, and I just get a moment in time wherever it is, and I just start improvising, and whatever comes out, and until I find that prayer spot, and it has a little life of its own. It ends when it should end, and it's been really beautiful actually to get that. It really sets my day off beautifully, and that's your song reminded me of that. Yeah, we're really lucky to do what we do.
Aren't we blessed?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
We are totally blessed. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and my friend Roland said, "Oh, he's talking to Carmen." Roland, this is Melba's time. he, he said, "Carmen, your voice soothes my life." We can do that. We can say that. It's really
Yeah,
her voice is beautiful as well.
it sure is.
Um, yeah. So we're actually it's been 2 hours, believe it or not.
Oh, goodness.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I did want to actually ask you one more question because it looked pretty cool. You were a judge at Russia's first prestigious international harpist competition.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask you about that because that sounded like a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I was there. We did a 7 days, and we had about 19 students, and then we had a performance after that. But it was really great, and I was surprised that it hasn't gotten as much attention as it has, but it's still going on. I found out.
Oh,
And I have a friend who played. Well, her name is Randy Young.
yeah.
She's a harpist there in New York. She's really great, and I really wanted to get her on it, and I didn't know it was still going on. And I lost my contact in Russia, and I just got to figure out a way to get back, so she can get. I'd love for her to be on that because she would. I think she'd really do well.
So wait, it was a harpist competition, but what? So what were you doing there?
I was a judge. I was an adjudicator.
A judge of the harpists?
Yes, that's it. I had the same attitude when they called me to do it. They said, "No, we want you to be a judge in this harpist contest." I said, "I don't know anything about harp." They said, "We don't care. You're on music." I said, "Well, if you feel like that, I'll be there." So we had a cellist, famous Russian cellist, child prodigy she'd been, and we had a flute player, a guitar player. This had different. It was from our point of view.
Yeah.
The judgment was about that.
Yeah.
It was about our point of view, and it was great. And we unveiled a statue that they had done for Shostakovich.
I see.
And Shostakovich's son was. Let's see, where was he? I think he was one of the judges or something. Grandson of somebody was one of the judges.
Yeah.
The main judge, and we just had a fantastic time. It was just really wonderful.
I love traveling and really getting into the other cultures, and especially in art, because people, it's a really marvelous thing that pulls us all together as humans, and which we need a lot more of, if the real people are going to win in life, we have such a big job. I had Carol Robbins on as an interviewee, and Carol Robbins, I don't know if you're familiar with her. She lives in LA. She's one of the major harpists, jazz harpists anywhere.
Oh,
and she's just a gorgeous player, gorgeous composer. I actually wrote lyrics to one of her songs called Three Rings, which is a gorgeous song. And yeah, she's really, actually, if you've ever seen, I don't know, you might have seen Billy Child's chamber orchestra, but if you had, she's the harpist. They've been old friends.
We worked together when he was a kid. He was my pianist, and we used to do gigs, and it was funny. He came to the gig one Sunday, and he had a microphone. So I said, "What are you doing with that mic?" He said, "I want people to hear me." I said, "Boy, you better put that microphone down there on the floor someplace."
Well, now, you know, when he performs now, he actually recites his poetry, which is very cool. He's really good at it. You know, and it's the kind of poetry that makes you think, you know.
Yeah. Well, Billy told me once, his parents asked him once what he wanted for his birthday. So he told him a grand piano. So they said, "What are we going to put it?" He said, "Put it in my room, just move my bed." He's really great. I really love Billy.
Yeah.
I've seen him a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Also,
a really...
the concept of that, the reason why that harpist contest existed was the discoverer of Europe. It was his what's his name? Who discovered Russia? His daughter was a harpist, so that's why they call it the golden harp. And his daughter was
I see.
a harpist, and so they did it in her honor.
I see. Cool.
Great.
Well, Melba, I like I said in the beginning, I'm really honored that you came on, and I'm just thrilled to get to know you better. And I want to go hear you again and again. Even just the body and soul one was just, I want to listen to that again and again. As a matter of fact, I might play that on the way out, but because that was so cool. Thank you.
I wish that the young lady who's a harpist would research that contest. She might find, you know, that they're doing it in Russia again. And we sang, the performers sang during the contest. And I have I think so. I have a tape on it. But anyway, I know you got to close the show, and I'm going to start talking.
Well, you know, I mean, I could. I mean, I don't have to, but you know, I just generally think that people probably get a little tired, you know, after speaking 2 hours, you know. But sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes we just like to keep talking, you know. But I'm gonna. I want to thank you so very much. It's just been a pleasure, you know, and I want you to know I'm your fan. Thank you for all.
Right away.
Thank you. Thanks for all the gifts you've bestowed on so many of us listening to you and putting those airwaves out that are so beautiful and life-changing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful move and I'm sure this Thanksgiving is going to be really lovely for you guys.
Oh yeah, we've already started cooking.
Oh, I want to come over. Is there any buttermilk pie?
We're gonna keep that date one of these days, okay?
Okay. Do you guys cook buttermilk pie?
No, we're doing potato pie. Carmen's gonna bake them tonight.
Okay, potato pie is good. You know, anything like those kind of pies, I'm in on. Although my kitchen is still torn up, so there's no cooking this Thanksgiving. Yeah, but that's okay. In about 2 weeks, 3 months of waiting is over, so I can't wait.
You have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too. And I just wanted to tell everyone tomorrow is kind of a wonderful experience too. Mike Renzi. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Oh, you are?
I am. Sang with him once.
Oh, well, he's going to be my guest tomorrow.
Wonderful. Well,
yeah. Yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar, he's like one of the top accompanists in our music, and was with Tony Bennett for a long time, and Mel Torme, and a lot, you know, just you saw Melba's reaction. So that's Mike Renzi tomorrow, and he's a really charming guy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So Melba, you can either stay on while I'm playing Body and Soul, because I'll bring that up, or not. But I'm going to play Body and Soul one more time because it's so good. Bye, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Melba. Bye, Carmen. Bye. Hi. Okay. Let's see. Share body and soul.
Thank you. Bright moments.
Life's dreary for me. Days seem to be as long as years. I look for the sun, but I see none through my tears. Your heart must be like a stone to leave me here all alone. When you could make my life worth living by simply taking what I've set on giving. My heart is sad and lonely. For you I sigh, for you, dear, only. Why haven't you seen it? I'm all for you, body and soul. I spend my days in longing and wondering why it's me you're wronging. I tell you, I'm being all for you, body and soul. I can't believe it. It's hard to conceive it that you turn away romance. Are you pretending? It looks like the ending unless I can have one more chance to prove, dear, my life a wreck you're making. You know I'm yours for just the taking and let leave. Surrender my soul to you, body and soul.
I did hear that the next song was an A flat. Thanks, Carmen. Thanks, Melba. It was really lovely. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Have-
you.
Have a beautiful Thanksgiving, you guys.
You too.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.